Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Bro Stumps channel. I know it's been a while since our last video, especially with War Wings. I think I might do a few more War Wings video on this channel because it's a pretty good game. It's pretty good for iOS and everything. I'm doing a whole bunch of different simulators and whatever. Also, G4 Embeddy's coming out really soon, so I'm excited for that, for Wings of Duty. But anyways, guys, we're talking about War Wings today, and you guys are seeing me using a new plane. I mean, you guys are probably like, why aren't you using the Yak 1B or the Yak 9 or whatever? And honestly, guys, I'm doing something I've never really done in any game before, and that's get a few different planes in these types of games. Now, I usually never do this. Like, this is actually the first time I've played with a different faction's plane that's not Wings of Duty. So you guys are probably wondering, how come you're not in your Yak 9 or Yak 1B or whatever? And the reason for that is because, well, two reasons actually. One of them is I want to do a dogfights versus 109 versus Yak, and we'll see how that one goes. But the main reason is to show you guys how to energy fight in this game. Because when I first saw this game, guys, I was like, how do you energy fight in this game? It just doesn't make sense. Like, everyone's basically in range. I mean, speed doesn't even make it that much more powerful or anything. It just was really confusing to me on how you actually would energy fight this game. Like, I very rarely stall out in this game or anything. I've never seen anyone just stall out and just get killed because of it or crash into the ground or whatever. And it's just weird. And I'm sure you guys are probably like, I don't even know how to energy fight. I just use the interceptor because they just kill things fast. And that's what I kind of wish they'd incorporated with the 109s and all the other energy fighters, because energy fighting actually relies on heavy armament. Now, they do have quite heavy armament, but it's not like insanely heavy armament. They're not better than interceptors, and maybe that's how they're supposed to be. I don't know. Maybe they should have made them do more damage, because I don't think it's actually based off caliber rounds in this game. It's just based off damage. I mean, if you're looking at the Yak 9 1B and then the Yak 7, you'll know that the Yak 1 does more damage, even though it's the same armament. So yeah, so we obviously know that they could have put more firepower into the energy fighters, but they didn't to make the interceptor class, which I'm assuming is primarily just like bombers, like the heavy fighters and whatever, which doesn't even make sense why they're dogfighting, but they are, so we'll have to deal with it. But I'm sure for those of you who play War Wings, you're probably like, it's cool though, what's wrong with it? And that's because they're dive bombers. They don't dogfight, and if they jettison their bombs and run away, to be honest. But I'm getting off topic, guys. Let's talk about energy fighting. So first of all, why do it, or why do people choose energy fighting planes? Now, there's a few advantages to energy fighting planes. First of all, is they're just faster. They're faster, they can climb better, they can dive better. They actually have a really good dive and climb speed. And overall in this game, they tend to have slightly better firepower and slightly better armor and health and that kind of stuff. So they're a little bit more tanky, but the primary reason why people would choose an energy fighting plane is because they can climb really well. Now, in Wings of Duty, you have purpose to energy fight, so you just dive down, hit the guys, get out of there. But with this game, you can't really get out of there. I don't really see a way to get out. You're more just stuck in one long dogfight. And for that reason, I just didn't think you could energy fight. But there's actually some ways to do it, and I'm going to go ahead and show you those guys. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys those ways. So yeah, hopefully you guys will understand a little bit more about what they meant by energy fighting this game. Now, note that I may not do this perfectly, and I probably didn't, but it's just to give you guys a rough idea on what it is in this game. So I know the voiceover is lagging a little bit behind the footage, but what you guys just saw me do right there is just climb up at the beginning and then just dive down and trying to pilot snipe them. And that's what I really think the main purpose of the energy fighter is, just to get above the enemy, dive down on them, and just try to snipe the pilot out or do as much damage as they can, hopefully killing them in that one run, because turning around and getting them is a real pain, guys, believe me. So just dive down on them, try to get that pilot snipe, and if you don't, just dive past them. They won't be able to get on you. Dive up and then go into head-on-head. Now, head-on-heads in this game don't really work out too well. They're a little bit tough to do, and it can be really split between just who has the better auto-aim or whatever. Auto-aim plays an important part in this game, to be honest. But yeah, as you guys can see me doing right there, I'm just pilot sniping. I'm trying to aim for the pilot, but it's actually really tough to do so sometimes. And yeah, as you can see, you're not always going to get that kill, and it makes it a little bit tough. And I'm just climbing up and then just diving back down. And honestly, guys, if someone wanted to stick on you, I believe they could easily stick on you. Now, in Wings of Duty, when you energy fight, you just, or any other plane simulator game that's a little bit more realistic than this game, what you do is you just dive down, climb, and then if the other guy follows you, they'd most likely stall because they're not as fast as you. Now, in this game, that doesn't really happen. In fact, they just stick on you until you die, and it just, that's like the main reason why I didn't think it could work in this game. But as long as you can just get as many shots off or they just don't follow you, it's actually not too hard to energy fight. Do I think it's worth it? Well, it depends. Honestly, I think turn fighting is the best technique in this game if you have a turn fighting plane. But if you don't have a turn fighting plane, then, you know, if you're going to just be energy fighting, you might as well use that technique with your plane because you're not going to be winning any turn fights. Let me just tell you that right now. I mean, you might be able to stick on someone, but chances are they're going to be able to get on you sooner than you can kill them while you're on them. Because the time to kill this game is very, very high. It's actually, like, extraordinary high for a game like this. Like, I've never thought it'd take so long to kill a plane before with all these heavy armaments and the bullets being the size of the frame of the plane. I don't know. But you guys know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, just dive down, hit them, get the kill, dive out of there. And I'd probably try diving out of there first before we try climbing because they'll just stick on you, to be honest. But, yeah, so a few other benefits of the energy fighter is it has slightly better armament. I wouldn't say it's the best armament. It's hard for me to compare because I do not have the 109G or whatever model is next to the Yak 1B. But I believe it has better firepower overall. And it's also a little bit heavier, a little bit more heavily armored. So you can definitely take out like people a little bit quicker, and you can also go ahead and just survive a lot more shots, making the energy fight a little bit more easier on your part. But it still just seems a little bit useless to me. But that's basically how you do it. I mean, it's the same way you can do it in this game. It's just not a tactic I would necessarily recommend. It's just a little bit too tough. And I'm just showing you guys raw gameplay just to show you what I'm doing. And raw gameplay in this game actually seems to be pretty entertaining by itself. So I didn't feel like I need to cut it up. I think it looked a little too sloppy. But, yeah. That's basically it for energy fighting. I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys some more examples. Now, at first, when I started to try to energy fight, I did pretty bad. As you saw in the first game, 3,000 points, guys. We can do better. But as the games progressed, I slightly did better and better. And right here, I'm trying to go for that pilot snipe, but it's not really happening. And, I mean, 50 damage per shot, not a lot of damage. And the Spitfires just seem to take so much bullets. I know they're not super strong, but this plane just doesn't have that great of armament, probably. The Spitfires, when it comes down to their armor, they don't really ricochet that much, but you don't do a lot of damage. They still got quite a lot of health. And as you can see, guys, I put like full 2 clips into him, and he's still alive, and it's bugging me. Because he should have been dead by now. In any other game, he would have been dead. Real life, dead. Deader than dead, probably. But so I didn't get that kill right there, but we still did pretty good. A little bit better than last time, but we can do better, guys. Alright, so we're going to start this game off pretty poorly, actually. So I'm going for this pilot snipe right here. And, I mean, this dude just doesn't want to die. I mean, we got that Russian bias going on. I understand. But, man, that was just crazy. So, anyways, I'm just getting shot up by 2 other guys here. And as you can see, I don't stand a chance. My pilot's, like, breathing blood on the cockpit. It's pretty crazy, guys. So, he's obviously going to die, unfortunately for him. And we don't get any kills that time, but we can do better. So, right here, I'm just trying to get this guy out. And I'm sure most people try pilot sniping, but with the energy fighters, it's actually not like an extra thing you can do just to do a little bit more damage. It's basically a priority when it comes to aiming. And because you have a lot of bullets, it makes it a little bit easier to get those hits. Like, I just pilot sniped that dude. Because you're not going to be doing, as far as I can see as of right now, I'm not doing a lot of damage to the canvas of the plane. You like 50 damage, guys, per hit. I mean, times that by 100, you're only doing like 5,000 damage per clip. Well, maybe a little bit more because we got that 32. But you guys get the point. It's obviously not enough damage because, man, I mean, how much damage can these planes take? I mean, that's over 1,000 damage. And that was a 75 critical. Holy smokes, these planes are bulletproof. Like, this is like a next generation material. I don't know what this is. But yeah, so pilot sniping is definitely the way to go. I can't emphasize that enough. If you don't pilot snipe with this plane, you're not playing the game right. Now this dude's on fire. We know he's going down, but we pilot snipe him anyways. I feel bad for these pilots. We're just like targeting them. I'm sure in like real life you wouldn't be targeting the pilot. You'd be targeting the engine or whatever you could hit. Honestly, and with bombers probably the engine would and that kind of stuff. But yeah, in this game you just go brutal and you just shoot the pilot to little bits. Because that's how you get the kill, honestly, because the frames are like invincible. Now once when you get to the higher tiers, guys, that's when it gets a little bit crazy, because planes have like a lot of health, but they do more damage than they have health, so it equalizes it. Now we're hopping into one of my better games where I did decently well, and I think you guys will think I did decently well. This isn't the best I've ever done, but it's definitely up there. Well, for this type of plane. But yeah, so we're going to head and just start off with our basic dive and just going super fast right here and then just trying to pilot snipe. Now, we're already being targeted for whatever reason, but this dude's in a biplane, so a little bit easier to kill, and obviously he didn't die there, even though his plane's like made of like wood and whatever. Well, I guess our plane's made of wood too, but his is like thin sheets or whatever. But anyways, this dude's tanking it out a little bit, but we take him out right there, very simple. And honestly, these biplanes don't really stand much of a chance. Flying tier 2 guys is very difficult because you got to deal with tier 3 planes, which is like a huge gap in generation. So it gets a little tricky. So yeah, this is definitely why it was one of my better games. But yeah, we're gonna try taking this guy out right here. We get his wing pretty good, and we do break our glass thing. I don't know. We go ahead and just get ourselves killed there, but we did pretty well at the beginning. Alright, so we're back now, and this dude, he's going pretty slow, so it's easy to take him out. Now his buddy's right there as well, and he's going to be easy to take out too, because he's going dead slow as well. And we're actually doing a lot more damage to these guys. We're bumping up to 67, and these guys got less health and less armor, and that's probably why we're doing more damage. But yeah, it just makes it a lot more easier to kill those guys, the tier 2s. This dude right there is going to have a little bit more health, and he's pulling a maneuver right there. But that's not going to stop us from pilot sniping him. Because he's bleeding out pretty bad, and if he doesn't use a bandage, he's gonna die. And I pull that maneuver there for whatever reason, and then that dude goes ahead and just bleeds out. Now we're being targeted, so I'm trying to turn around here real quick, just using my turning ability by staying in the green, and then going super fast just to try to dive out of there and just dodge bullets and whatever. And this plane actually goes really fast, guys. We're going up in the 420s right there, and most planes, they don't really go that high, especially the Yak 1B, and I mean, it's a pretty slow plane, but it turns really well. So we're going to head and win this one right here, and I'm not going to get MVP because I was off by like 200 points. Less than 200 points, honestly. This is like 125 points. 135, something like that. So, whatever. But we did get over 1,000 RP, so pretty nice. Now, let's go ahead and just get into some Yak 9 gameplay, or Yak 1B, whatever you guys want to call it. So this plane right here, guys, is pretty much a beast. It just does a lot of damage. And at the beginning, I'm not doing too well, as you guys can see, because I'm still warming up to this turn fighting thing. I'm going too fast for my plane, but I managed to stick in there just long enough to just not die right there. I actually did not memorize this gameplay, so we'll have to see how it goes. We're going to pilot snipe that guy. We actually do a lot of damage, guys. Like, with this plane, we do a lot of damage. I got wrecked right there by this dude, but that only makes sense. He's probably using like 37 millimeters. So, I've been asking myself this question for a long time. What separates the Yak 9 from the Spitfire Mark V or whatever? And honestly, guys, I'm still asking myself that to this day. So if you guys know, comment down below, and don't just say British and Russian. I want to know specifications down to the number. So let me guys know what you guys think. But what I'm thinking is that the Yak 9 is a little bit faster, maybe. And I mean, the armament's not even better. Like, I know the Spitfire. I'm pretty sure the Spitfire turns better. I just don't understand. What's the difference? Like, why choose like in War Thunder, like, why would you want to use the Yak 9 when there's the Spitfire? Because I'm pretty sure the Spitfire is better in War Thunder. I always avoid Spitfires because they just turn better and they're just as fast as you, always. But they don't have that Russian bias. Maybe that's what separates them. Because I know that the Yak 9s can definitely tank a lot more than the Spitfires. But I've seen some Spitfires pull some clutches. So we're going to win that round right there and not get MVP because Oliver from the other team obviously thought he was better than me. But he did do better, so we can give it to him. Oh, we lost? Okay, maybe that explains why. But we still got over 1,000 RP, so good for me. And we also completed that mission, so nice. Now, guys, to wrap up this decently long video, for those of you who made it to the end, you get to hear the conclusion. And if you didn't make it to the end, you probably will the next day, because I understand this is quite a long video. But it's so you guys got something to watch over the course of a couple of days. Well, I don't upload because of school and work, but that's not the point. So energy fighting this game it has its benefits, but overall it doesn't really outbeat the Yak 1B in a turn fight or even in an energy fight. Not really. I don't feel like energy fighting really helps you. I mean, just look at this poor guy right there. He just dies. And this poor guy, he doesn't die. But no, he dies. Oh man, he really died. But yeah, I mean, it just doesn't really seem to have much benefit to just going faster in this game. I mean, the planes go ridiculously slow in this game. I mean, they give them realistic speeds, but that realistic speed is like deadly slow in this game because of tight quarters and everything. There's not really much room to do your maneuvers and everything. So can you energy fight? Yes, you can. Should you, if you really want to? Is it worth it? Not really. I'd find that it's more effective to be in a turn fighting plane like a Spitfire or a Russian plane and just have that benefit of the doubt of knowing that you can out-turn everyone there. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time on the Brosums channel. Let me know if you prefer energy fighting or turn fighting. And take care, guys. See you later. G-Night from the Brosums channel. Signing out for real this time. Bye-bye.